how are you? Today I brought you an amazing, fantastic recipe for your snack. It's a wonderful meal, low carb, ketogenic, meaning it doesn't have wheat flour, it doesn't have gluten, it doesn't have any kind of flour to give consistency to our dough. It turns out amazing, and I'm even going to add some incredible toppings. So, if you're looking to lose weight, if you're on a low carb diet, or if you want to control your blood sugar, you'll love it. Stay until the end because you won't want to miss it. If you love recipes that are easy, quick, healthy, and affordable, you're going to love this channel. So go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell to get updates. I post new videos every day, and you're going to love them. Let's get started with our recipe. And remember that the ingredients, quantities, and nutritional information are, as always, listed below in the description. And if you love weight loss recipes, healthy recipes, and low carb recipes, give this video a like, and I'll come back and make more recipes like this for you. And tell me what you usually eat for a snack. Do you tend to eat more savory pies, bread, cookies? Let me know what you usually have for your afternoon snack because I get inspired and create other healthy recipes here for you. So let's start with our dough, and it's going to turn out like a savory pastry dough or a bread dough, but the ingredients I'm going to use are amazing. So the first ingredient I add here is chicken cooked in water. Just that, no salt, nothing else. Make this recipe because you're going to love it. I'm going to put the pieces of chicken in here. There's no need to season it or worry about adding salt or anything like that because we're going to add plenty of seasoning here. So it's just the cooked chicken. And remember, I have a video here on the channel where I talk more about different types of chicken cuts because many people think that the only healthy chicken to eat is chicken breast. I have a video where I talk about drumsticks, thighs, and more. So if you're interested in that, if you want to know the differences, I'll leave it down below in the description. To blend with the chicken, I'm going to add the eggs here. Remember, I also have a video talking about what happens if you eat eggs every day, whether eggs raise cholesterol or not. I'll leave that down below in the description for you as well. I'm going to add a bit of olive oil here. Remember that olive oil is a monounsaturated fat, which is excellent for the heart as well, and it's really important that we choose healthy fats when we're following a low-carb or ketogenic diet. I even have a video here about how to do a sustainable low-carb diet for your health in the medium and long term, and also a cheap low-carb diet. I'll leave those videos down below in the description for you. Now I'm going to add some seasonings. I'll put in a bit of cumin. Cumin is wonderful because it even helps speed up your metabolism. So if you're following this diet to lose weight, that's even better. And I'm going to add a bit of turmeric or ground turmeric here. Turmeric is highly anti-inflammatory, which also helps with weight loss processes and so on. Since I added turmeric, I'll put in a bit of black pepper to help with the absorption of curcumin. I'm also going to add a bit of salt here. And now I'll add the baking powder. So this batter is really easy. We're going to blend all of this together really well until it has a true batter consistency. You'll see what I mean. You're going to love it. Remember that the spices I added, the turmeric, the cumin, are optional. And if you want to change them, if you want to add oregano, paprika, basil, you can. This part is completely up to you. Now let's blend this really well. Look, I finished blending our batter and it turned out a really nice yellow color because of the turmeric. I'm going to bake it in this dish here, which I've already greased with olive oil. So let me just scrape off the excess batter here. When you make this delicious recipe, let me know in the comments how it turned out. So let's carefully pour this mixture into the baking dish to prepare it for baking. I really want it to achieve the appearance of a beautiful focaccia, much like a rustic bread. So I will gently place it in here and then smooth it out. First, we're going to pre-bake our batter in the oven at 360 degrees Fahrenheit. When I come back, I'll tell you how long it took to bake, and then we'll add some special toppings to make our snack even tastier. So I'll finish up here, take it to bake, and I'll be right back. Hold on. Look, I finished spreading our batter here, just like I said. Now I'm going to take it to the oven to bake at 360 degrees Fahrenheit. And when I come back, I'll tell you how long it took and we'll add the toppings. Just wait, I'll be right back. Well, so it stayed in the oven for about 15 minutes. I won't even touch it because it's really hot. And now, as promised, I brought my fillings, my toppings. I'm going to add a bit of mozzarella here. I'm using light mozzarella, but you can use any cheese you prefer. And remember that different types of cheese will bring different calories and different nutrients. I have a video talking more about this, and I'll leave it down below in the description for you. Remember that the amount of cheese you use and how much you put on is really a personal choice. If you like more or less cheese, it's totally up to you. After all, on a low-carb diet, we don't count calories, so the calorie content of the cheese won't make that much of a difference. Let me spread it out here so it's evenly distributed. Look, I grabbed a bit more cheese because I wanted it to be more like a savory pastry. I thought there wasn't enough cheese before. That's up to you, as I mentioned, to add more or less cheese depending on your taste and your own plan, like what time of day you'll be eating it, what the rest of your meals look like, and so on, as I always say. So, look, now there's a good amount of cheese here. This cheese, once it goes in the oven, will settle down and melt. So, I'm going to add a bit of tomato here without seeds, so it doesn't get too watery. Of course, this is also optional. You can add whatever you like, and if you don't like tomato, you can use red bell pepper. Tell me, what would you add to give this savory snack a boost to make this delicious low-carb treat even better? I think that's enough tomato here. Now I'm going to add some olives. I love black olives, but you can use green ones too if you prefer. And I always like to soak the olives in a bit of water to remove that excess salt they usually have. Usually black olives are less salty than green ones. But either way, do this because it's better for your health, for swelling, fluid retention, and blood pressure. I have a video here where I talk more about the benefits of olives, which are wonderful. They have a lot of monounsaturated fat, lots of fiber, and are very filling. I also share some tips on how to prepare olives to make them even healthier. And finally, I'm going to add a bit of rosemary. I'm using fresh rosemary, but if you only have dried, that's totally fine too. And this smell really reminds me of focaccia. It smells just like those Italian focaccias. So now, after we've added all these toppings, we put it back in the oven for about 15 more minutes, just until the cheese melts and the tomatoes soften. Everything blends together and the flavors mix here. When it's done, I'll cut a piece and we'll give it a try. So hang on, I'll be right back. Look, another 15 or 20 minutes for this delicious dish to be ready. Now I'm going to make some cuts here to serve it. I thought about cutting it more or less diagonally, just like you would with focaccia. So first, we start by making a few cuts, like this, diagonally across the dough. Then we go the other way. I am doing it this way because I was inspired by focaccia. Since I've been talking so much about it here, it just came to mind when I started adding the toppings. Now I'm going to make a few more cuts in this direction, and the pieces will end up looking like little diamonds. It adds a really nice touch and makes everything look more special. And what's cool is that this dough really ends up looking like bread dough, like a savory pastry. I'll show you here how it turns out and you won't believe it. It really is amazing. Look at this. I can even pick up a piece with my hand and show you. Check this out. Look how amazing this is. It looks just like bread. You're going to love it. Tell me down below what toppings you're going to put on this delicious recipe. I'd love to see your comment. Remember to give it a like because that really helps me out, and share it with anyone who would enjoy it or needs it. Let's spread this chain of good together. That's what I want here on the channel. Let's taste it. I strongly suggest that you make it just like this. It's truly wonderful, and I am confident you're going to absolutely love it. See you next time. Bye.